Welcome to Lizards of the Toast, and there's a lot of graveyard shenanigans going on in Modern, and we do not hate that. In fact, what is the opposite of hate? I believe it's love. But you have to love before you hate, right? Is that true? I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I've heard that somewhere. Somebody said that. Was it Augustine? I don't know. We have an Eldrazi spawn here with our Gruul Delirium, so we are enjoying these graveyard shenanigans, and this is not actually my deck. This is somebody else's deck, and she often beats me up on the channel. I think you know who I'm talking about. So, she likes Gruul, I like Gruul, and this is the first of 3 decks we're going to do this week, and this one's Gruul, and we have a Rakdos one to follow. And this one's a little more creative than the Rakdos one. Let's get right down to the brass tacks, shall we? And let's share those creatures. Let's share the creature base. What's that? Oh my goodness, don't peek. Alright, so we have the Patchwork Beastie. It's an artifact creature. It's a beast for 1 green. And I know, 1 green, that sounds great for a 3/3, but it has Delirium and it can't attack or block unless there are 4 or more card types among cards in the graveyard. At the beginning of our upkeep, we can mill a card. So, it's going to be a wonderful thing in this deck because it's putting 1 card in the graveyard. We have many creature types. For instance, this is an artifact and a creature. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in the 2024 version of kind of a Delirium deck, the Patchwork Beastie we did not utilize as much as in this deck. So this one's new. And it's updated, and it's better, and it is really a great deck. I really like it. I'm jealous of it. We have Dr. C. Darcy as some call her, but she doesn't like being called her first name. If you don't know her that well, don't call her by her first name. It's Dr. C to you, mister. Whenever you cast a creature spell, Surveil 1 has Delirium as long as there are 4 more card types among cards in the graveyard. Dragon's Rage Channeler gets +2/+2, has flying and attacks each combat if able. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. 4. Neatness there. Very neat. See how we do. So, Scrounging Deathclaw. Many people have never seen this card, and it's very secret in Magic. It's never been known as anything else. In fact, it's always been called Scrounging Deathclaw. It's very new. So it's interesting. It's unlike any other card ever printed before, and the Scrounging Deathclaw is unique in Magic and is like nothing ever before seen. So we have 4 of these, and Scrounging Deathclaw's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. So Delirium is relevant. And getting a turn 2, a big Scrounging Deathclaw is not a bad thing. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. We have a fear of missing out. Does anybody have that anymore? I don't anymore. I'm overwhelmed by the sets. So I don't have fear of missing out. I'm just trying to hide my head in the sand so I don't feel impulsed to change up my decks very quickly, because I do like to play an eternal format as much as possible, right? So fear of missing out, 1 and a red. When fear of missing out enters, discard a card, then draw a card. Get your pencils. Whenever fear of missing out attacks for the first time each turn, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in the graveyards, untap target creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. This is essential in storming through the gates, as it were, my friends. So 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. And look at these. Isn't this fun? These frames we have here, just like our Deathclaw. Our Deathclaw kind of has a fun frame too, like a Pip Boy. That's hard for me to say that. Pip Boy. I don't like to say it. It's strange. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Pip Boy. All right, that's the last time I'm going to say that word. Omnivorous Flytrap. It's a 3-drop. Now, unless we're doing like some kind of specialized cards with 3 or less things, we don't normally play 3-drops, do we? Not on this channel. Delirium. Whenever Omnivorous Flytrap enters or attacks, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in the graveyard, distribute 2 1/1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. If there are 6 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, double the number of 1/1 counters on those creatures. That's great. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. And you can definitely go down to 3 here. It's fine. If you feel like going down to 3, it feels good to do it. If it feels good, do it. That's not good advice. But in Magic, it's good advice. But in life, not so much. Many things that feel good, we should often not do all the time. Am I right? Am I right? So Detectives Phoenix, candy bars much? 2 in a red. Who cares about that? We don't want to do that. A 2 in a red for a 2/2 with flying and haste. But our enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying and haste. And you can cast Detectives Phoenix from your graveyard using the bestow ability. So there's that. Let's go back to the top, Tony. Collect evidence 6, which means to pay this bestow cost, pay 1 red. Exile cards with total mana value 6 or greater from the graveyard. Oh, that seems kind of like something we don't want to do because it's a Delirium deck, but guess what? 4 of those. Guess what we have 4 of also? 4 of these 5 mana Street Wraiths. And I know what you're thinking. That's black. But you know what? There's no black mana. We don't even have fetch lands that grab black mana. There's nothing. These things will never be played. It's almost sad. It's funny. The lamps on Windmore Street snuff themselves at midnight and refuse to relight, afraid to illuminate what lies in the darkness. Why be afraid of it? Because it's just going to be discarded away anyways. Goodbye. Good night. Good night, my dear. So, cycling, pay 2 life, discard this card, draw a card. So immediately we can get a bunch of these in the graveyard. And it being just a creature, that's 1 type. We have plenty of types, so we don't mind. This is going to pay for our Phoenix almost. It's almost there to get that bestow cost. And really, this is better in this deck for the bestow cost than the Pahonix. So let's talk about the instants. Oh, look at this. It's a goblin. It's an instant. Don't we talk about Tarfire a lot? I think Tarfire. I think our next mat will be Tarfire. We're going to do a Lizards of the Toast inspired Tarfire artwork mat. Maybe. Probably going to be totally different by the time it comes around. But as of right now, let's dream big. Deals 2 damage to target creature or player. It's an instant. It's basically a lightning bolt. However, it's a tribal instant and it's a goblin, so it's 2 types. So discarding it's great. You name it, you got it. Badoo. All right, so we have an enchantment. Yeah, we have 2 enchantments. Look at that. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. When Rancor is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return Rancor to its owner's hand. So 2 of those, that's great because sometimes our graveyard's not going to be full. And adding that +2/+0 with trample is great because none of our creatures naturally have trample. You know what I mean? So having these, you could almost go 1 more. I would almost say I would not be frightened to add 1 more of these and maybe take out 1 of the delirium plants. What are they? The flytrap, the omnivorous flytrap. How can a flytrap be omnivorous? I mean, eating other plants, that's just gross. Actually, plants do absorb themselves, don't they? All right. Anyhow, we have Violent Urge because it's a delirium, man. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. 1 red. If there are 4 or more card types among cards in the graveyard, that creature gains double strike. Just like that, man. Look out. See that? How quick? Double strike. 2. So that can be a nice game-ending swing there. Similarly, I've thought of somehow like doing like a Delirium Slick Shot shell, but it's just not quite there. I think Slick Shot's good enough on its own in like a mono red Phoenix deck right now, but in the future. Malevolent Rumble, on the other hand, is good in anything right now. This card is hot to trot. This is going to be like a Pauper staple. I have like 12 of these. I'm using 8 of them to let you know. That's how good I think this card is. And I think Ash has some of them in another deck too. So reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You put a permanent card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into the graveyard. Create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token with sacrifice this creature and add a colorless mana. So where is the Eldrazi? Look at, we actually have one now. Look what we have. We have one. We got one. See that? Look at that. It's not that other thing we used before. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Now, could you use 3 of those? You definitely could. That's an option. You have Faithless Looting now. Oh, so happy. In the next deck we're going to show this week, it's frustrating because I made the deck recently almost. But then I found that, man, the Faithless Looting Ban, which I played the deck before the Faithless Looting Ban, didn't play like it did. And then as soon as I sold what I had to rebuy and trade other things to get those things back because Faithless Looting was unbanned. And I'm like, man, I can make it like the old school one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Boom, boom. Flash it back for 2 in a red. And that's the Faithless Looting song. Now let's do that mana base, shall we? We have 7 fetchable vegetables. We've got Windswept Heath. 1. We have 2 Scalding Tarns. Oops, ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4 Woodsy Footsies. So that would be 7 fetch lands. We have Commercial District. Enters the battlefield tapped, but that's very good for us there. We like that. 1, a Stomping Ground, a Stomping Ground, a Stomping Ground, and a Stomping Ground. Oh, that was nice. We have a mountain. We have another mountain. We have a forest. We have a forest. And we have a verge. I'm on the verge of a verge. All right. I am, actually. My house is on the verge of a verge. It's right in the backyard, but we're at the bottom of a verge, so we're not at the top of the verge. True story. In Arena of Glory, one of these in here, you could do 2. You could probably do 3 even. But I don't know. It's just, I feel like 1 is good because you'd never want this thing to come in tapped, right? Tap it for a red. You can exert it and add 2 red. If this mana is spent on a creature spell, it gains haste until end of turn. So generally we can use that. It's just another way to get haste. But I like using the Phoenix, I think. This deck, just like the other deck we're going to talk about, the Phoenix I like better kind of in this shell, I think, to get that haste, rather than like rely on a land that can enter tapped. So let's talk about the sideboard. CD board. CD board. All right, trying to make up a language there. Questing Beast. We have 1 of these in here. It's a legendary creature, beast, vigilance, death touch, haste. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. Now, I did not set up this sideboard. So, we're going to talk about it anyways. In fact, before I did the video, I didn't even know what this sideboard was. But I can see why this would be good in here, because this is a big 4/4. Can't be blocked. Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. That's fine. You get this thing out, attach a Rancor to it, you're going to have a bad thing. So 1 of those, it looks like, and we got Unholy Heat. All right, of course we do. It deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Delirium and Holy Heat deals 6 damage if there are 4 more card types among cards in the graveyard. So I'm guessing this is here for like Murktide, things like that, or even bigger things like you're seeing in the Blink decks. Does anybody think that Blink deck might have been based on that mono black deck that I'm playing right now that I love so much? We're going to have to do another video about that. Oh yes, it has caught my eye, that Orzhov Blink. I'm very impressed by the deck. Not making fun of it or anything. I love the deck, but it does seem very like reminiscent of my mono black Reanimator build. So pick your poison. This makes sense. All right, sacrifice an artifact. Each opponent sacrifice an enchantment. Each opponent sacrifice a creature with flying. Again, that's going to hit Murktide. That's going to hit enchantments that are going to mess up our graveyard shenanigans. So that's really good. And that artifact, we're going to be all these really good. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I almost guessed 4, but anywho. Tormod's Crypt, of course. Sacrifice Tormod's Crypt. Exile cards from target player's graveyard. 1, 2. Ooh, Haywire. Hello. Wonder if this was set up before. No, Ring was banned a while back. Okay. Anyways. Haywire Might. Dies, you gain 2 life. Sacrifice Haywire Might. Exile target non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment. Again, that's good because that's going to give us that double, kind of looks like triple protection against anything that might be trying to get rid of our graveyard shenanigans. Oh, okay. I was wondering where this. All right. 1, 2 lightning bolts. Sure. And a damping spear. That makes sense. I like the damping spear. All right, somebody's listening to my home. I'm impressed. I am impressed. And look at those sleeves. Those are pretty. That's eucalyptus. Eucalyptus, Tony. All right, so that sideboard looks pretty kicking. Well done. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. So we'll do some mulligan guides and some gold fishing with this later on. You guys have a good one, and thanks for hanging in with me, and welcome my new subscribers. I think we got like 6 of them or so in the last couple weeks, so welcome aboard. Thank you for watching my videos, and I will see you on the next.